right with this. Okay, so let's go through everything just one more time, right? From the top. There's a new law by ICE released 2 days ago that concerns itself with non-immigrant F1 visa holders, specifically F1 and M1 visa holders, so international students. The point of this PowerPoint is to explain how this new policy is negatively affecting students throughout the country, specifically international students, of course, and then to provide some context, historical context to why this is happening in the first place. Number 3 is to provide some solutions, both from the point of international students, specifically targeting school administrators. The number 1 point that I made is that ICE does not have the best interest for international students in mind. ICE is run under Homeland Security. They were founded after 9/11 to eradicate terrorism. International students are not terrorists. We should not be facing this kind of discriminatory policies. ICE do not have your best interest in mind. Do not make any mistake of expecting them to provide you with accurate answers or provide you with any kind of solutions. They are here to trap you. They are here to trap the colleges that you are studying on. They are raging a battle against universities in the US, and you are caught in the crosshair here. You are in the middle of a battle and you are the casualties. Do not rely on them for answers because they will not provide you with accurate information. Number 2 point, this is an unjust and outdated system. Specifically, how they classified online classes, it's outdated. We have a global pandemic happening, so the kind of online classes that they use to apply to I-20 visa holders are inadequate and outdated. International students are limited by I-20 to take a certain amount of online classes, which is either 1 class per semester or a maximum of 3 credits of online classes. So what used to be online classes is different from what our current understanding of online classes is, because international students have been studying online since as early as March of 2020. I've seen some schools do virtual classes in February, right? For months now, we have doing virtual classes with nothing going wrong to us, right? Because of an exemption made by school administrators and by ICE, so that we are able to take those kind of virtual classes without being kicked out of our F1 visa qualifications. So this new policy is completely unjust and uncalled for, because it forces school to reclassify those kind of virtual classes into hybrid classes, so it specifically discriminates and targets international students for no reason, right? Okay, so outdated, misinformed. The only difference between a virtual class and an online class is how we present ourselves, right? Virtual classes use the same curriculum, they use the same syllabus, we hand in the same homework, we are studying the same thing. The only difference is that we are meeting virtually. Why is that the only difference that keeps us from staying and continuing our education in the country? That's fucked up, that's wrong. Number 3, your school is responsible for international students' well-being. I've talked a lot about ICE and the government, but your school has a hand to play in this. So expect them to do what's right. Colleges are choosing what to do this coming August, which will affect a lot of international students. There are 3 different options here that they can choose from. A fully reopened model, which is extremely risky to public health and impossible to do in certain areas, right? It disproportionately affects the disenfranchised, so school staff and international students, people who lack social support. International students have shit healthcare system and have shit healthcare insurance. So if an outbreak does happen, we are at the mercy, number 1, at the mercy of our health insurance, and also at the mercy of Immigration Service Custom, right? ICE. So if an outbreak does happen within the school, that means that internationals will be deemed illegal within a period of 10 days. 10 days is the grace period that they give us. 10 days is how much time we have to transfer school or go back to our country. That's dumb, that's idiotic, that should not be the case. So a fully reopened model is out of the question or really risky for international students. In certain areas of the country, it's virtually impossible. An online-only model will put many lives at stake. An online-only model is the exact problem that international students are facing with this new policy, because we are no longer provided visa if our school is doing an online only model. So again, 10 days is the grace period that ICE is giving us to pack up all our lives and then move on to another life somewhere, somehow, apply to another school, and then get accepted, and then find transportation, and then move. All of that in 10 days. That's fucked up. Nobody should go through that. I don't know why we should go through that specifically. Maybe just because we're not Americans. Maybe just because we're not white enough. But that's the policy that they have put forth, and that's the kind of policy that we will have to go through as international students. Number one, to be able to find a school that will accept you, and then to be able to find transportation is virtually impossible within this current pandemic. And then some countries are still in lockdown. Some countries don't even accept Americans specifically because this country is radiating off coronavirus. So yeah, it's impossible and it's idiotic to assume that international students can just go back where we came from, because surprise, surprise, no one wants Americans' flights anymore. Hybrid model, right? Hybrid model is not a guarantee for your continuation of your education, but it will be helpful for certain interpretations of the hybrid model. The first interpretation is that certain classes will be online, some will be in person. This is not a good option due to the maximum amount of online classes that internationals can take. So if you need to take more than one classes online, that's not a good take. And then also the policy dictates that you can only take a minimum you can only take minimum amount of online classes, and that's really vague and that doesn't help anyone. Number two is that all classes meet in person with online materials available. This is very high risk. It's more doable than the fully reopened model, but still internationals who study online are still very, very vulnerable. And all international students who fail to show up in to class is at a vulnerable position. Okay, number three is that classes will meet in person and virtually, and classes will be classified as in-person classes. We see this with a lot of different universities now. This is kind of the same way of education that international students have been doing since March. So both physical and online classes are available to everyone who needs them, but all classes will be either classified as hybrid and in person. There are no online classes because all classes have both things, right? This is the most inclusive options that we can demand, basically, as international students. And it's really reasonable, I think. Okay, so here are some common misconceptions. Number one, ICE will be sued, or they will be brought to court. Not true. Maybe this will happen in the far, far future, but the judicial system that Americans have in the US is really complicated, and it takes a long time for any kind of final verdict to be reached. Misconception number two is that international students are money bank for schools, so they're not going to kick us out. Again, not true. Not all international students are rich and are well off. Not all international students can afford to be kicked out of the school. So please, please, please do not think international students are all well-off individuals, because we are not. And then schools in the US are run more like businesses than educational services. So if they can afford to kick you out, then they will, right? They will not hesitate to cut costs. And if you prove yourself to be a cost to them, they will kick you out. So don't rely on your financial situation right now, because in the future things might change. If your school switch to a fully online model, and if they don't need you anymore, that's bye-bye time for you. Okay, misconception number three is that my school already has a hybrid or in-person model, so I shouldn't be worried. All models are subject to change. Nothing is guaranteed, so don't expect everything to stay the same just because you are doing fine right now. Schools throughout the countries are already kicking international students out. So if we don't take care of each other, no one else will. Misconception number four is that I'm just one person, my actions don't matter. You are one of many. You are one of 1.1 million international students throughout the country. You are one of many international students in your school campus, right? So we have bargaining power. We have a lot of collective power. Also, international students deserve better. We deserve decency, and we deserve to be treated with respect. We are the foundation of everything that the campus relies on. We work the jobs that no one else wants to work, and we get paid nothing. So we deserve decency now. Do not stop until they treat you with the respect that you deserve as a human being and as an international student. Okay. What I want to get accomplished, this is really important to me specifically, because these will provide really practical solutions that I think a lot of students might find useful. Number one is that I want to start a website so that people who are in need of a college that are safe to them, they can just go through the website and look for options, right? So I want to start a website that is comprised of a list of colleges and universities that are safe for international students. So colleges that are doing an in-person model or offering in-person classes, or colleges that are doing a hybrid model that students can just transfer to without any kind of limitation, right? So I want to comprise a list for students to use. I want everyone to demand transparency from their school administrators. Don't fall for less. I want everyone to pressure lawmakers and congresspersons and representatives to oppose this unjust law that are targeting international students. And I want to strip ICE of its power over international students, because this agency does not represent international students and our value in regards to a safe education, a safe and effective education. The only thing ICE is concerned with is terrorism, and we are not terrorists. Ways you can help: talk to people, demand transparency by talking to people, and then share and spread the news of international students to whoever might be listening right now. And that's basically everything I have right now. It's really comprehensive, and I know it doesn't provide any personal solutions, but that's not what I'm trying to do with this. Really, I'm trying to find solutions that we can all agree on and we can all find useful in the short term, because things like suing ICE isn't going to bring us short-term solutions. And things like relying on your school administrators to do everything for you is not gonna pan out great when history has proved this otherwise. Okay. Again, I am available on Twitch. This is not gonna be my last stream regarding to international student and the whole situation with ICE. As things progresses, I will be making like more streams, so keep up with that. And if you are interested in helping me out with like starting my website of like listing colleges that are safe for international students, please feel free to do so. That's my Twitter up there. So please feel free to contact me if you are interested in helping me out with that. Yeah, that's it. That's everything I have. If you have any questions, then just feel free to shoot me DMs on Twitter. Okay. This has been a pretty productive stream, I think. I've gone through everything I want to say. I made this stream specifically to call out my own school administrators. So Augustana, if you are watching this, I expect more from you. I've seen more from other schools. I am very disappointed by how you've handled the situation and your lack of transparency in releasing any kind of statements in regards to international students and where you stand on international students. Are you with us? Are you against ICE? Where you stand on this? I don't know, because you haven't said anything. Yeah. I am frustrated. I think most international students are angry and frustrated as well. But we should not let our frustration lead to nothing. We should focus our anger and our frustration into something productive. And I think there are a lot of different ways that we can be really, really productive with this. This could be the start of something really new for international students in the US. because it's obvious by this new policy that the government doesn't give two shit about international students, right? They can just release this kind of policy so that they can use us as casualty for their political war. We are just casualties to them. We're just bodies for them to use. Isn't that obvious for people? And that's crazy. And we should be expecting a lot more from both the government and our school administrators. That's it. This could be something entirely new, or it could be the start of something terrible in the future. And that's up to international students to decide. And yeah, I am both excited and terrified, but I'm leaning more towards excited because I have hope in international students. We are capable of doing a lot of great things. We are the foundation for our campuses, as you already know. So let's be the foundation for our own survival as well. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions or if you are interested in follow up with this whole situation, feel free to follow me or feel free to follow other sources that are speaking out on this. Yeah, no problem, dude. Are you an international student as well? Very interested to hear your thoughts on everything. A few of my friends also joined in the stream earlier. A few of them are Canadian international students. Those guys have it so good, dude. Those guys have good healthcare. Those guys have good insurance. Those guys aren't being used like we are being used. So why aren't we expecting the same kind of respect that we deserve in this country right now? I don't know. I'm sad. Oh, okay. Okay. I think I will be cutting the stream into a short video so that I can send this to people in Algae, people who has administrative positions in Algae, so that they can really listen to my thoughts and concerns, because they have not reached out for international students. Isn't that weird that they always say that they are concerned with us and they are concerned about our problems, but they haven't reached out to us in any way. The burden is on us to reach out to them. The only thing that Algae has released on this matter is two emails from OISSS, so the International Student Office, that basically said that we don't have answers right now, but you can ask us at a Q&A next week on Monday. Monday, that's nearly a week from when the policy is released. Do they just expect international students to be cool with it for a week without any kind of answers? Yeah, it is insane. So I'm disappointed, and I need more transparency from Augie on this. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna be closing the stream off because not even. Yeah, I know, right? Augie said it has been thinking about doing a hybrid system since the beginning of summer, so I'm glad they actually decide to go through with a hybrid model. But like I said earlier, a hybrid model doesn't guarantee that international students are safe. It really depends on what kind of classifications the school is doing, and Augie is not being transparent with that at all. The hybrid model is not a transparent statement, and I need more information. That's it. And once we actually do get that information, I hope that Augie continues to provide international students with the access and the path that we need to graduate on time. Because as a senior, I am very worried that I would need to postpone my education, or maybe I would need to take another year to be able to finish my bachelor degree. And if I take another year, there's no guarantee for me to maintain my scholarship. And my scholarship is the only thing that's keeping me in the school right now, because I cannot afford to pay the full tuition as an international student. I can't even afford another semester, right? Everything my family has done to send me to Augie has been really calculated. So this lack of transparency is really detrimental to my my own personal like financial situation, and I think a lot of international students, I know a lot of international students are facing the same kind of problems that I'm facing. Thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna close off the stream now because it's getting quite late. I also read a lot of different things on stream, so if you are interested in reading stuff like Marx and Hegel and like politics stuff, because that's what I major in. I major in poli-sci and econ. So if you are interested in reading stuff with me, drop a follow.